Welcome along once again to a Star Sports video blog, and in September there's only one race that means anything in the racing calendar, and that's the St Leger run at Doncaster over a mile 6 furlongs, and first run in 1776. And I think England is a country that's known for its tradition, and this stands out a mile, the oldest of the 5 classics. And if you're looking for a history lesson, this race was first run 11 years before the American Constitution even came in, so you can forget them. We had a horse race, a proper one, 11 years before your country even really existed. And it's been run every year since, apart from sadly in 1939, where I believe the Luftwaffe must have been close to Donny and sense prevailed. But in recent years, I think if you look at last year, it was won by Enck, the Ben Johnson of the horse racing world, denying Camelot his triple crown. But it's a great race. Tradition is tradition. That's what we love in this country. And that's why it's such a keen punting race. Top of the market, we've got joint favourites, Leading Light and Galileo Rock. Trevor, they rightly favourites? Could you split them? Would you make one favourite over the other?
I think you can strongly argue Galileo Rock's achieved quite a bit more. Third in the Sandown Classic Trial on ground that was probably a bit soft. Excellent third at Epsom in our derby, and a good second in the Irish derby. That clearly is quite a long way clear the form Leading Light's achieved. Leading Light won at Royal Ascot. Good effort, but it's quite a long way short of classic form. They're two Irish raiders with massive chances. Leading Light's respected because of the stable, really. I mean, if he's their number one, he's clearly a very decent prospect.
Well, I noticed of the 43 entries, the Ed O'Brien team hold 12, which is no surprise. But looking at that Ascot run, look at the others entered, there is a bit of dross in there. You would have thought the kid would be on board this. And this would be their number one pick, I would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, a lot would depend on how Foundry goes at York this week. If he wins the Voltigeur, he could be the number one. But at this stage, Leading Light is the number one, unbeaten this season, bred to stay well, already proved that at Ascot. Everything to like about it but the price, really.
Well, I think if you do think Foundry is a runner, you've got to take the 33 to 1 available now with us here at Star Sports, because it can only contract in price and contract considerably, I would have thought, if it wins that race.
One run and a maiden, won 4.5 lengths. The form hasn't worked out, but he's ready to put his career on the line now this week and then later in the Leger maybe.
Well, what I would say is I agree with you about Galileo Rock. That second to Trading Leather in the Irish Derby really took my eye more than the English Derby, and the form is in the book. But I thought Leading Light, when the horses came to Ascot, it kept finding more. It looked like it had quite a lot up its sleeve to me. One of those horses that wouldn't put more in than it had to, but it would simply get the job done. And that's what I thought it was very taking. In that it just kept finding.
No,
and I would expect with the Aidan O'Brien and Joseph O'Brien names next to it, that would go off favourite on the day.
Fair enough.
Okay, moving on down the card. Second favourite is Excess Knowledge, the Gosden Charge, which was second at Goodwood. A lot of people said it was unlucky at Goodwood, but you know my opinion about this unlucky at Goodwood. Horses aren't that unlucky. I think there's an opinion that more horses are unlucky than they really are at Goodwood.
Yeah,
there was 4 in a line, and I think if it was good enough, it would have won.
Horses are unlucky because of their own limitations normally. They don't get a run because they're not quick enough to get a run. They make their own run.
I think we need to cut that, Trevor, because you put that much better than me, and I'm concerned about my role being your role and switch next week.
Excess Knowledge was put up by Pricewise as the early Ledger pick and duly improved at Goodwood. But 5 horses within about 2 lengths. Got beat by Caparachas, who's 3 times the price. Nicely bred. Abdallah Owens, miles too short, honestly. I wouldn't take double figure. I mean, I want 12 at least. So.
Yeah, for me, from the 3 at the top of the top 4 in the market, and there are clear front 4 in the market, this was the worst price of the lot, and the one I'd want to lay the most. So if you are interested in this Excess Knowledge, give us a call, speak to one of our auctioneers at the end of the phone. Hopefully you get Trevor and you're going to get a better price. Right then, the Quandary Libertarian, a fantastic second in the English Derby. The boys in blue came in to buy it. I'm not talking about Man City, I'm talking about Godolphin. And what happens as soon as they buy it? Absolutely bombs out. 8th of 9 in the Irish Derby. Surprised it wasn't 10th of 9. 9 to 1 shot. A lot must be taken on trust here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you just hadn't run since Epsom, you'd still be making a strong case, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd have to think that with their facilities, however good you think Carl and Elaine Burke are, it would improve the going to a big yard. It's bred to stay very strongly. It indicates all year long it looks the type that wants extreme test. It probably wants further. Potential cup horse for the future, perhaps. After Irish effort, I can't entertain it. I'm sorry. It'd have to run in between for me. It's not going to, I don't believe. And no, I'll sit out on that one.
Yeah, couldn't possibly back it 9-1. Okay, so there's a million other entries in there that we could talk about. I'm just going to pick out one, which will be my selection for those, and that's Feel Like Dancing, who ran an absolute burster last time out. Second to Leading Light. I don't see how it can be 20-1 and one be 5-1, and I think the each way value is definitely there. So for me, the bet in the St Ledger is without a doubt each way 20-1. Feel Like Dancing. If I could push you for a selection, Trev?
Yeah, I mean, Godolphin got a great record of the race. You've got to look at Kappa Rushes and Secret Number is interesting. Going forward, Judy Settle's got two really nice improving horses, but I think they're not good enough yet. They want to be weighted. Retirement Plan and Mighty Yar. Suggest viewers follow those two, but not perhaps for this. At this stage, I'll take the 20s Mutashaded. Same form line as you, third at Ascot. I think he's only had 3 runs in his life. Well bred, very impressive early in the year. I think they could be a runner and is overpriced.
So for you, Mr. Shahhead at 20s. For me, Feel Like Dancing at 20s, both each way, and Galileo Rock most definitely to be feared. But with whatever you back in the St Ledger, good luck, enjoy it, and don't forget that phone number is 08000 521 321.